Today we're in Bradenton and we're at the Desoto National Memorial, and we're gonna go and see what it has to offer, take a little walk around.
Don't know what it has to offer.
Nope, we have no idea, but let's go check it out.
All right, we already parked down here, but we wanted to walk to the front entrance so we could see the sign there. It says, parking lot locked at 5 p.m. daily. No parking from... yeah, that's all like nasty water over there. No alcohol, dogs must be leashed. No parking from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. Here's the entrance. There's something over here. I don't really know what that is. We'll have to look at that. May look at that on the way out. We are passing through the gate. You read a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you find out?
So it was like in 15 something.
15 something.
Conquistador Hernando Desoto had a little army, and he was going on the search for glory and gold. Found none of that. Instead, it just resulted in native people being enslaved, sickness, illness, just a whole lot of not good.
Huh.
So
well,
that's my understanding of it so far. Hopefully
all right.
we learn more.
Yeah, let's see this. The Night of Santiago.
19-year-old, wow. Hernando Desoto first traveled to Peru, land of the Inca. Okay, he secured a commission from the Spanish crown to explore, conquer, and settle Florida. He invested his fortune in this new grand adventure, and on the 6th of April, 1538, the armada and expedition of the new governor and captain general of the Kingdom of Florida set sail for the New World.
Hey. And then over here's like a little hut. A cardinal just flew by. Let's see what it says. Doesn't say anything, but it's got some photos.
Little
like a reenactment.
Position of the two here.
Gotcha. I don't think they had electric back then.
His armada, right?
Yeah.
These are the native people.
Yeah. What's this? The landing.
Yep. 1539. That's right. I was gonna say that earlier, but I didn't remember exactly.
Nine ships. Look at that, 700 men, 350 horses.
Following day in different disciplines of Indian yes. Alright, so there's rumors his lands would yield even more gold, silver, precious gems, and slaves than all of Mexico and Peru.
Wow. Shows a depiction of them unpacking all their items.
That I remember from my high school class was Cortez conquered the Aztecs in Mexico, and Pizarro conquered the Incas in Peru. So I think this is around that same time period. DeSoto is trying to conquer the native people here.
And on over here we have another little Spanish crown.
First conquistador, remember the last. 3 years after landing, DeSoto died of fever, 1542.
3 horses, 5 slaves, and 700 pigs was auctioned to the 300 remaining soldiers of the expedition. So they started with 700, right? Didn't I just read that over there?
I think so. It says DeSoto's death tarnished the golden myth of Florida. When Spanish efforts were rekindled 2 decades later, Indians were no longer their sole antagonists. The French had established Fort Caroline near present-day Jacksonville.
And over here behind us is the Desoto Trail. Little near here, Hernando Desoto with his men landed and began his march westward to the Mississippi River. Commemorates the 400th anniversary of his arrival on the shores of Florida. Kind of see the overview of the area. So back this way is where we walked through. Kind of got some benches up here to overlook the water. Talks about the monument we just looked at. And then there's like a visitor center here and some trails over there. I think the visitor center is open, so we'll go ahead and go in there first. Then maybe hit some trails, some signage. Let's see what it says. Here it talks about the early peoples. The Desoto Trail. Look at that. Man, that'd have been brutal out there in the ocean. There's a youthful Hernando Desoto. And this is the Desoto National Memorial Visitor Center. Looks like we could go on in. So let's go see what they have inside. This is what we have inside. Whoa. This little boat. There's a bookstore. What do we got? We've got a
He came out of New Orleans. Down there.
map of where he came from here. Is that what you're saying?
He started
Departed
here.
from Havana with 9 ships, 200 horses.
No,
Good
it
grief.
said when did he die?
Right
42?
Over there's May 21st,
Yeah, but
1542.
okay, but yeah, okay. So,
Good grief, he went everywhere. Over here around the corner are some restrooms. And here's this little area. So they've got the little ship. Here. His travels. I mean, he went all over the place. I think a little movie in there, the bookstore. We're gonna head in here and see what their movie's like. Learn a little bit more about him going through not just Florida, but plenty of states. See their little theater here. Here's their TV. Oh, that must be. Yeah, look, it's just like his outfit.
Began the first major European expedition of what is now the United States. Spain had first claimed the area only 47 years earlier when Christopher Columbus landed in the Caribbean. Small expeditions had been attempted by Ponce de Leon and Pamphilo de Narvaez, but both met with failure. Desoto returned to Europe a rich man, having plundered his share of Inca gold and silver. But he soon grew bored with his life of luxury and longed for the adventure of another expedition. As they reached Calais, near present-day Ocala, they once again heard familiar information. No gold or supplies here, just a little further on. As the expedition's first winter came, the group settled in a fruitful area near present-day Tallahassee. But the region had abundant food, and Desoto decided to use the area as his new base of operations. He sent a small band of soldiers back to Usita to bring up Calderon's 100 men and his ships. In March of 1540, Desoto and his regrouped army headed northeast through present-day Georgia and South Carolina, this time heading west into present-day North Carolina. They crossed the Appalachian Mountains on trails that had never before seen horses or pigs or war dogs. Desoto decided to head south toward the Gulf. After passing through the vast chiefdom of Coosa, they entered the territory of Tuscaloosa. The expedition progressed southward to the stockaded village of Mobile, the namesake of Mobile, Alabama, before they set up a long winter camp at Chickasaw in present-day Mississippi. In the spring of 1541, the army resumed their march. Boys continued on, although now truly wandering with no specific goals or destination. The aimless expedition spent the entire summer and fall of 1541 roaming through a large area that is now Arkansas until forced to make camp for the winter. The gold they sought continued to elude them. As the snow melted into the Arkansas earth, the army headed back east toward the Mississippi River, where Desoto intended to build 2 ships. His plan was this. He and most of his army would wait near the riverbank, while some of his men would sail the ships downriver to the Gulf. One ship would then proceed to Havana, Cuba, the other to Pánuco, Mexico, the northernmost Spanish settlement, in hopes of leading reinforcements back to those who waited by the Mississippi.
Was not to be, for on this last leg of the march he had contracted a deadly fever. Our leader confessed his sins, wrote a will, and named his longtime friend and confidant Luis de Moscoso as his successor. Then, on the 21st of May 1542, Hernando de Soto died. In an effort to conceal de Soto's death from the Indians, we quietly buried him beneath the waters of a great river.
Fearing a long sea journey back to Cuba or Mexico in small boats, they decided to try an overland route to Pánuco in northern Mexico. It was a decision that would cost more lives and another half year of torturous marching, all for nothing. As their fourth winter approached, he decided to retrace their path back to the Mississippi River.
Soon became a desperate, violent race to the sea. After 17 grueling days on the mighty river, we finally reached the Gulf. And on the 10th of September, 1543, the good Lord took pity on us and delivered us into salvation. We finally reached the Spanish settlement at the Panuco River.
Of the nearly 700 Spaniards who began the journey with Desoto over 4 years earlier, only 311 survived. He is thought of by some as a brilliant cavalryman and fighter, and by others as destructive, arrogant, and brutal.
Wow, that was a very informative 20-minute video. So if you're over here, I would recommend watching it. Now we're gonna check the bookstore, which is right over here. Let's see, they've got this, some books, activity books, arrowheads, pirate treasure map, stuffed animals, some more books, a couple hats. Is that an ornament? An ornament. How neat. They also have some shirts. We also picked up this map, and it shows kind of some of the trails. We are, I guess, currently probably right there. You can see it's a pretty long trail. Well, there's a short trail that's 0.5 miles, long trail that's a mile. And then on the back, some brief history. So Miss Activity here. I think we're gonna get the passport to your national parks. My parents do this. They go around and get, so it's $25. They go around and get stamps of all the national parks. Since we're at one, oh, here it is. We can show what it looks like. Since we're at one, we hate to pass it up. We realize we are gonna have to go back to a couple we've been to before and get them, but check it out. You can get like the actual stamp, and then you can put like,
Here's like Southeast region.
you can put like these stamps on them as well. So
I
since
don't
we're
know
here,
if they have
might as well
organized
get the first one, which is gonna be
There we go.
right there. Look at that. Apparently you can play some some dress up over here. That's funny. Oh,
Pick that up, see how
Pick
heavy
it
it
up.
is.
Oh, yeah, it's heavy.
I can't do it with my left
Can't
hand,
do it
but
with one hand.
oh my! I can't even raise it.
What's the new business, man? Oh my God. Can you imagine that?
Look, it shows how they have to suit up right here.
That's unreal.
Yeah. They also have some coloring activities. All right, we're gonna buy this thing, get our stamp. Here they have national parks in Florida. Here is our first stamp experience.
See that?
Okay.
Looks like this, and you gotta make sure.
Okay.
And it goes in this, press it.
Put it on the flat part, yeah. Here. Desoto, right? Oh
Nice.
yeah, that's
Woohoo! Look at that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Good work.
You're welcome.
All right, we are back outside, and I think we're gonna just head over here to the trail super quick. I don't think we'll do a big one, but maybe just a small one. Then over here, just outside, in case you haven't seen the trail again, here's the trail. Look at that, that's a lot of traveling. Oh, and then it goes to, That's insane. That's pretty neat. So you're not allowed to take just your normal dog in. You take service dogs in, but if you're leaving your dog out here, there's a pet parking here. Look at that. All right, heading over this way to the trail. It is a scorcher today. It's very warm. It's like 90 degrees. You can see the view of the water. And then over here, we've got no bikes. We've got some of the trail. Just gonna kind of walk down the shoreline here. Cool path. Some boats out there today. So they kind of have these little signs. And then over here, nature trail, kind of a little beach water area. So they've got, it's kind of an interactive trail. They've got some cutouts. Right here, horseback there. Kind of like Desoto right there. Continuing this way. Another cutout. Looks like a boardwalk. We'll go on that boardwalk. Now, I don't think we're gonna do the longer trail, just the shorter one. It is a pretty walking trail. See, there's water all around us. Can you imagine like being in Florida, and obviously there's nothing in Florida but like all of this. So you're walking through this, which never know what kind of creatures could be in there. You're walking through all of that without even really knowing where to go, searching for something that they didn't find. There'd be no benches to pull off at. Just that. Not really sure where this leads, so we'll keep walking down here towards the end. There is a squirrel. Is that sleeping? Look. Right there. Coming around this corner. The long boardwalk. On down. This thing is long. Shaded though, so that's nice. We are almost to the end. Oh, another cutout. See, there are people fishing. I guess it's still part of a trail. I think we're gonna turn around now. We don't really want to walk on the sand, but you can see, made it across the boardwalk, and you can continue around this little loop. We're just gonna turn around and head back this way. Made it back to the end here, and we're gonna head towards the front. Now if we head up here for the last little stop, kind of at this view up here by these benches, and then we'll go to the little place right outside the gates and I think call it a day. Here's the view of the water. Look at that. All right, passing outside the gates, said we would look at this one, flag. We'd look at this one before we left. See what it says here. There is a sign over on this side. It says Camp Uzita. I don't know how to say that, but it was built to resemble Desoto's base camp. Looks like maybe they do some kind of reenactment or something out here. Huh.
That does it for our trip out to Soto National Memorial. Learned a little bit more about old Hernando Desoto and the natives here.
They travel. I was thinking they were just in Florida, but no, they're...
It was a long journey.
Long journey.
All for naught.
Yeah. Just really ended in death.
I'm excited about our little passport book that we got.
Yeah.
That'll be nice to take along and then go to some other places, check them out.
Yeah.
So that does it for our trip out today. See you later.
Thanks for watching.